about some other horror movie topics here. Let's talk about Mr. Harrigan's Phone. And I guess this is sort of my review for it, for sure. Mr. Harrigan's Phone. Mr. Harrigan's Phone is a movie that's out on Netflix right now that stars Donald Sutherland and the guy from the It movies, Jaden Martell, who does a great performance. He does a great performance. Actually, both him and Donald Sutherland do a great performance. And it's because of those two performances, I would tell you to check this movie out. It's a slow burn, though, guys. Know that this movie, Mr. Harrigan's Phone, is a slow burn. What's the synopsis? When Mr. Harrigan dies, the teen who befriended him and did odd jobs for him puts his smartphone in his pocket before burial. And when the lonely youth leaves his dead friend a message, he is shocked to get a return text. Now, as I said, it's a bit of a slower burn, so expect that going in. Don't expect it to be too scary either. It's being billed as something horrifying, but it's more of like a coming of age story for this guy right here. And he's very mature in this. He does a fantastic job. Of course, he's got to deal with bullies and stuff like that. And then Mr. Harrigan advises him how to deal with these things. And then basically he comes over to read to Mr. Harrigan 3 times a week. And then he gives him a phone. And he's like captivated by it. And he's got a powerful sequence in this where he realizes, you know what? Because he was a businessman, he's like, wait a minute, you're getting all of these things for free? You're getting all of these apps for free and stuff like that? You should be very wary of this phone. And it's just a really cool monologue there that, Donald Sutherland has. And he's always good. He's always good. And the teacher did a good job. That's a teacher. But mostly this guy here, Jaden Martell, right? He did a fantastic job. But as I said, the caveat there is expect a slower burn. And if you like that from Stephen King, just kind of that kind of writing, yeah, great relationship between these two. And it made me think about life and relishing life. That's what it made me feel. Okay, it looks like this is the director and maybe the producer or scriptwriter there working on set. Cool. Yeah. Good. It's a good movie. I liked it. It's not a 6 out of 10. It's a little bit higher than that. I know some people will be expecting a horror movie, but if you were a fan of Jaden Martell, check that out. Donald Sutherland is good. Kirby Howell Baptiste is the teacher, so she did a good job too. Joe Tippett is the dad. Yeah, and it takes you down normal coming of age stuff with the bully, like as I said, but it does take some interesting turns with his choices. As I said, he makes very mature choices, and part of that comes from the guidance that he gets from Mr. Harrigan, played by Donald Sutherland. So, let's see. The critics is only 30% there by 30 reviews, 62 by the audience. I don't agree with those numbers at all. It's not a bad film. It's not a terrible film. But as I said, expect a slower burn. Arglass Viking says, I watched Mr. Harrigan's Phone last night. Not what I was thinking. It was a charming tale of love and loyalty being repaid. Exactly. About loyalty. Yeah, loyalty is a big thing in this one too. And I like that. There's a couple of interactions between the younger guy and Donald Sutherland where they talk about loyalty and stuff like that and how to handle your life. I found inspiring. Let's take a look at some of the snapshot reviews from RogerEbert.com says, in a bad review, an early engaging performance from the great Donald Sutherland and a consistently grounded one from Jaden Martell keep Mr. Harrigan's Phone from completely going dead, but you're going to want to send this one to voicemail. No, it's not that. I can understand. It's a very slow movie, and know that going in. And I'm telling you that, guys, in my review here, because I want you to be aware of that. If you're expecting something really quick moving, you're going to be disappointed. If you're expecting huge ghost-like reveals or something like that, I guess you sort of get that, but not in the way that you want, and that's what I found made it interesting. Anybody else here that jumps out at me in bad reviews? Let's take a look at a good one. From The Guardian. No. Arizona Republic says, as with the greatest King stories, the best parts here are not the horror elements, which there are few. It's the time spent with the characters. Exactly. It's the characters. And Mr. Harrigan is definitely an interesting character. I'm glad that Donald Sutherland was allowed to play him. He's going to sell the movie for you guys if you like him, for sure. If you like acting, you'll like this movie too. It won't keep you up at night, but it is a solid and surprisingly poignant effort, says San Jose Mercury News. Yeah. Okay. So it's only 30 reviews. It's on Netflix, guys. It's not... I thought it was going to be more of that horror movie stuff because it is from Stephen King. And apparently Stephen King... and he had some involvement in this actually on set, which is kind of cool. He didn't have a cameo, though. At least I don't think he did. But from the director, John Lee Hancock, reveals that Stephen King was very involved in this particular film adaptation. Cool. Well, and I think that kind of shows. It really, you can really tell it was written by Stephen King in the dialogue with the narration that comes overhead by this guy, by the young kid. The way he describes things. Yeah, it's the way he describes things. If you've ever read some Stephen King, you'll understand his way of describing things. But in a statement below, he says, with an interview with Screen Rant, the director says he was very involved. He wanted to stay out of the way and let me do my thing, but he let me know that he was there for me, and I started taking advantage of that. When I finished the script, we sent it off to Stephen, and it's like, oh, I hope he likes it, because he can just give a thumbs down and we're done. But he loved the script, and so far, so from that point on, we had an email and phone relationship that was really, really helpful and great. Well, that's cool to be able to like draw from the person who wrote I think it was a short story. It's from a short story, right? To get that kind of input. I don't know why you wouldn't want to engage, the original creator and like to cut that off. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me as to why you would want to do something like that. Kathleen Kennedy, I don't know why you would want to do that. But anyway, Mr. Harrigan's Phone. It's worth the watch, guys, if you got some extra time in the morning or something at late at night. You just want to throw on something and you want to watch a character piece. It's a character piece, right? Donald Sutherland does a great performance in that too. And it's kind of heartbreaking, actually. Because you like the relationship between the two. And you know where it's going because of the trailers and the synopsis. But I really enjoyed their interactions. And from that alone, I would say, go check out Mr. Harrigan's Phone on Netflix right now, guys. I would give it a 7 out of 10. If not a 7.5. 7 out of 10, yeah, for Mr. Harrigan's Phone. Jaden Martell, he's going to develop into quite the actor. I look forward to seeing more work for him for sure. All right, let's continue on with more movie news here, guys. Friday Night at Freddy's is finally going to be coming into fruition. It seems like it's going to be because they got a director. They got a new director attached